Yersinia pestis was a bacteria carried in the stomach of a flea and was the main cause of the Black Plague.
Yersinia pestis is a scientific term for the Black Plague, an anaerobic bacterium affecting Europe largely between 1347 and 1353. The bacteria was and is commonly found in the stomach of the flea and is passed by animals carrying fleas. During the Renaissance period, the rat was the most common way of spreading it, along with the other animals, considering the unsanitary nature of the Renaissance period.
During trade, the bacteria was passed from person to person across the Silk Roads by trade, and through the Black Sea, and across the Pacific Ocean to North America.
To give some background, after a human's been bitten by a flea, the contagion drains to a lymph node that swells to form a painful bubo. It's most often found in the groin or on the thigh, in an armpit, or on the neck, hence the name bubonic plague. Some other symptoms of the bubonic plague were coughing up blood, fever and fatigue, bleeding and delirium, and gangrene. Plague doctors were the medical physicians that towns hired to heal those who had the bubonic plague. The plague doctors wore beak-like masks that in the beak held herbs and spices to filter the air they were breathing. Most of what the plague doctors did had nothing to do with being a physician at all. Most of them popped buboes, used bloodletting, frogs, and leeches, all basically things that were false cures and used them unknowingly. After people started passing away from the plague, they began using plague pits or mass graves to dump all the bodies in, because death happened so often that funerals ceased to occur. In fact, death happened so often that it began the tradition of saying, "Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you may die." During this period, lords and nobles started dressing more extravagantly to almost ensure their social standard above all else. This was unnecessary, of course, because following the Black Plague, the economy endured extreme inflation since it was so dangerous to procure goods produced locally, and even more dangerous to get those that were imported, so prices skyrocketed. However, although economic stability decreased after the plague, one positive impact was that peasants could demand higher wages considering labor was more necessary than ever. Faith in religion also decreased after the plague due to the death of the clergy and failure to pray to prevent sickness and death, which was frowned upon. The last and perhaps most prominent effect is that over 10 million people of the European population fell to the plague by the end of the period. Overall, from the bacteria to the rat to the human, the plague was a destructive but necessary force for an opportunity to rebuild a stronger society.